Scream has always been one of the more influential franchises in my life, if not the most influential. And with the newly released Scream 6, you know I had to be there. So let's talk about it. Scream 6 is one of the more gory films in the franchise, and I love the amount of gore that was placed within the film. It was well placed, it was very well done. It made you like flinch and cringe, and just all around, just you felt every single stab and all the blood that was flowing out. It was a fun time seeing all that gore, and I think it was needed, because with every sequel you gotta up the ante, you gotta up the gore, you gotta up everything. And while Scream 5 was pretty gory, it wasn't as gory as Scream 4. It had enough gore to pass for the requel test, but it didn't have enough blood for the sequel test, and Scream 6 more than enough made up for it, and they did that very well. They did the gore to a perfect amount. So, and I love how much it really makes every scene feel a little more impactful. All that blood, you don't know who's gonna make it out alive, and it's very tense and it's very adrenaline based. It's a lot of fun watching all that gore. It's not like Saw, where all the gore is just kind of there, and it's just kind of there to make you go ugh. Here's to make you feel scared for everyone. And to be honest, this is one of the more scary Screams. It's a lot more jump scares, a lot more chase scenes, a lot more, like I said, a lot more gore, a lot more intimidation, a lot more just stalking and creepiness that was all around. And I think the New York setting really helps the film all around, and the New York setting is absolutely perfect evolution for the series. I've made the joke plenty of times, and I still think it kind of should have been, but Scream 6 should have been called Ghostface Takes Manhattan, kind of as a nod to Jason Takes Manhattan. But I think that when you go to New York for a horror film or any type of sequel, because every sequel ends up in New York somehow, we get there eventually. It's like space. But I think that it really helps the Scream franchise, more or less, just because of the amount of, it could be anyone hiding in any corner, at any shadow, and it's so well done in this film, with the setting and how they do it. It's amazing what the radio silence was able to do through just changing up the setting. The characters we have throughout the film, we have a returning core four, as they call themselves in the film, in Mindy, Chad, Sam, and Tara. Well, I think a lot of people didn't like Sam in Scream 5. I think that if you go into the movie, you didn't like Sam in Scream 5, or just didn't like Scream 5 in general, I think you're gonna like Sam in this movie in general more, because it does a lot more fleshing out, does a lot more character building for Sam, rather than her just being the heir to the Loomis mask. Yeah, I'm gonna go with mask. And I think Sam really, and her actor, I can't remember her name right now, really do well in this film. And I think that goes same for Tara, Jenna Ortega's character Tara. While in the first movie that she was in, she was kind of beat the shit out of every fucking 5 seconds. She was getting thrown around, she was getting stabbed, she was getting pushed, she was getting shoved. It was just, they were beating the shit out of Jenna Ortega. Well, she's not beat up in this film. She does take a lot of beats. She does do a lot of more character work, and I think she's a lot more influential in this film rather than the last one. And I think that's really important. And I think because people are coming to this movie for Jenna Ortega because of Wednesday, more or less. She does a great job here, and I think this is where people are going to start more appreciating Jenna Ortega's actual acting ability rather than her being a staple character. Mindy and Chad are here. They don't really do much. Mindy is our horror geek, and Chad is here to be the romantic interest to Tara. I didn't really appreciate that plot point, but it was there. They didn't really dive deep in it, which I was happy about. It was kind of just pushed a little bit every so often, but never like in the forefront of the film. Speaking of romantic interest and stuff like that, this movie, at least the beginning half of it, is horny as fuck. Everyone's trying to fuck, everyone's trying to kiss, to make out, and it's horny. Continuing on to our characters, our new cast of characters. The main cast surrounding our returning characters in Quinn and Ethan and Danny are really well done. Except for Ethan, I think he's just a whiny little baby. He doesn't really do much. kind of just complains all the time, and I really hate it. And that goes the same for Kirby. Kirby coming back, well, again, I think this is what the prequels trilogy has been really doing so well. At least I hope it becomes a trilogy. Has been doing really well is that the returning characters, the Sydney, Gale, Dewey, and Kirby, aren't at the forefront of the film, except for Dewey. Dewey is kind of more in the forefront of Scream 5 than the rest of the trio. I think that they're not in the forefront. They're kind of aiding the characters that are new characters throughout the film. And I think that's what a lot of prequels have been failing to do. They just bring back the old characters to throw them back in. Like, no, I want to see new people, new faces, new challenges, because that's how you evolve a series. I love Sydney. She's my favorite final girl of all time, but give her a fucking break. They do this, sadly, due to wrong reasons, but they do this in the film, and they do it really well. They incorporate her perfectly, and it's really done super well. I really hope they bring her back for Scream 7, at least to aid our characters. Like I said, we really need a Sydney send-off after she was brought back for Scream 4 and Scream 5, because after Scream 3, her story was done. She's brought back for those last 2 movies. Her story is no longer finished, and we need to give her a rightful finish now. Quinn is our like comic lead for a while, but like she doesn't really do much. She's not really involved in the film too much. Annika, who is a character who is Mindy's love interest for a little bit, was there. She really didn't have a character much. She was just more to be Mindy's girlfriend, more or less. The new cop character was really interesting. Danny is one of my favorite new characters of the movie. Does a really good job. Aids the characters really well. Very good supporting actor, especially to Sam's character. And I think that he's really well done throughout the film. Getting into spoilers, the opening scene is fantastically done. So of course we have Samara Weaving as our main actress throughout the starting. It's like the Drew Barrymore, the Jada Pinkett Smith, etc., going through the motions of the film. It's always a big actress at the point in time in Radio Silence. How we work with Samara Weaving in Ready or Not. She plays a girl who's on like a Tinder date, and then she goes into this alley talking to her date because her date's lost and whatever. Turns out to be Ghostface, obviously. We all know this is happening. So Ghostface murders the shit out of her. Again, very gory, very bloody. It's a great time. The thing I was not expecting, he takes off his mask. He reveals who he is. I'm not going to try to give up that much, at least. And I'm just sitting here like, are we going to know who the fucking Ghostface is throughout the whole movie? That would be really interesting. Because then I'm thinking fully cult. Because I was hoping for a cult in this movie. We didn't get a cult. Upsetting. Whatever. But, like, he just walks away. He packs his shit up, whatever. And then he talks to Tara. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker, what the fuck is he doing to Tara? Like, whatever. And then he gets home. He starts drinking. He's talking to his buddy, or his roommate, or whatever, who is also a ghost face, apparently. And they killed their film teacher, who was Samara Weaving. And they were going to kill Sam and Tara eventually. And Ghostface calls. They play a little bit hotter, colder, and it's a very tense scene because we don't know what the fuck's going on. We don't know if it's his roommate actually fucking with him or whatever. He opens the fridge and we find a fridge character. I found really funny, in my opinion, because the concept of being fridged, being his roommate, who was supposed to be on the other end of the phone, obviously wasn't. And it's gory as shit. He is dismembered from head to toe, and that's when I knew the movie was not gonna hold back. And I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a gory mess, and I fucking love it for that. And then the ghost face that killed Samara Weaving dies from our actual ghost faces. I'm not a big fan of the ghost faces in this movie just because they're weird. It's odd. And I don't know where we draw the boundary at Ghostface now. I don't know. I really don't know. So our Ghostfaces, again, we're in the spoiler section. So if you haven't already figured out to click off now, do that. So our Ghostfaces are Quinn, Ethan, and Detective Bailey. So we have 3 Ghostfaces. Or do we have 3 Ghostfaces? Because I don't think Detective Bailey ever puts on the Ghostface mask or gown or whatever you want to call it. I don't think he ever does that, and I think that's weird if we consider him a ghost face for that reason. Quinn is Ghostface, and Ethan, complaining about before, he's just kind of a little bit of a whiny baby, is a ghost face, and he's still a whiny baby. It's really fucking annoying. I really don't like him. I don't think he does any of the killing. I think he only attacks people. Quinn is gone for a lot of the film, and it's kind of like the Mickey thing. She's gone for like I think an hour 30 of the film, and just because she's supposed to be dead, but she's not dead obviously because she's a ghost face. It really confuses everything because I don't know if Detective Billy is now a ghost face. Did he ever wear the mask? Did he ever wear the gown? I don't know. But they also reveal that they're actually Richie's family. If they're the brother, sister, and the father of Richie. I wouldn't say and recognize them. Did they not meet ever? I think weren't they supposed to be in a relationship for over like a year or 6 months in the Scream 5? Like, it doesn't make much sense to me, but whatever. I guess I'll deal with it. It's happened before with Mrs. Loomis. This is very much a direct call to Scream 2. I think it's very much in line with Scream 2, and I think they obviously meant that they kind of call it out themselves. Another thing that really kind of bothered me throughout, because we have 9 ghost faces, and each attack that happens throughout the film, they start leaving masks. They start with the Amber and Richie mask at the attack to the other ghost faces that happened, which they eventually found out killed Samara Weaving. I don't know how they figured that one out, but sure. So they find the Richie and Amber masks, and then the next one is Jill and Charlie's mask, and then it's Roman's, and then it's Mrs. Loomis's. Ethan's wearing Mrs. Loomis's mask throughout the film. Then Quinn reveals that she's wearing Stu's mask, and then Detective Bailey has Billy's mask, who gives it to Sam to kind of be like, take your birthright. It's a weird thing throughout these movies. I really don't understand that people want her to take her birthright as like Billy Loomis's daughter. It's really odd, and it becomes a plot point throughout the whole film, which I do like, because people are like, now so the plot point is basically everyone blames Sam for what happened to Woodsboro in Scream 5 because they think that she did it because she's Billy Loomis's daughter. So then spreads a rumor and conspiracy theory throughout the internet and obviously Reddit. Turns out that's Quinn. But the thing I have an issue with is, where the fuck is Mickey's mask? They mention Mickey at one point. You see him clearly. They mention by name, that you see his picture, you see everything, and nope, we're not gonna find Mickey's mask, and it really bothers me. I really want to know where that mask is. It's gonna lead into Scream 7. Is that their idea? Is to lead into Scream 7 with a Mickey's mask for some reason? I don't know. It just really bothered me. I really hope it's a deleted scene that they kind of cut for time, but I really want to see that scene as an extended cut version of the movie. Big bothersome for me, because we have a character who just vanishes and now is related to a previous killer. But yeah, I think the film does a great job with everything it does. I think that, well, I think the ghost faces are kind of weak in this film. I think they're weaker than Richie and Amber, at least. I can do a re-ranking of ghost faces if you guys want. I did a ranking a while back. I can do a re-ranking with the new ones. Let me know if you think Detective Bailey is a ghost face, because I really don't think he is, because I don't think he ever puts on the mask. But that being said, I think the film does a wonderful job. I think the reveal of 3 people being behind the murders is very interesting. Probably could have called it if I was thinking properly, because I'm thinking 2 no matter what. Usually I can figure out if it's 2 or 1, but I think the 3 ghost face reveal is pretty well done. I think it shakes things up. I think that's interesting. But I really didn't like who was the ghost faces. I think it was kind of just cop out, because one of them was really annoying. I really didn't like, and he kind of gets no blame. Like in this scene that he probably would have been like kind of revealed or like give us a hint towards him. He helps Mindy out. Quinn's been dead for an hour 30 throughout the film, and Detective Bailey has given us no indication that he is behind any of these murders or killings or whatever. Honestly, they kind of do a misdirection with Kirby, and I thought it might have been Kirby. I would have been upset if it was Kirby, but I think it would be more interesting if Kirby was a ghost face who kind of went unhinged. Anyway, I think the film is wonderfully done, and I think it's good. I don't think it's the best sequel, but I also don't think it's the worst movie in the world. I really think it's actually a really good movie. I think it's over Scream 5. I can tell you that right now. It's a better movie than Scream 5, and I love it for that reason. I think that Scream 7, if it does get fully announced and fully greenlit, I will be there, of course. But I think that it'll be a wonderful ending to the franchise, at least for the time being. If they don't choose to reboot it or whatever. I think Scream 7 might be the proper place to end it, and I think Radio Silence, whether they're behind as executive producers or as directors, because they get some indication that they're not going to be fully behind next one, or they might be later down the road. We don't know, but I'm really excited for the next Scream movie just because this one was really good, really bloody, really exciting. I think as long as they take some of these things they learned from Scream 6 after the improvement from Scream 5, I think they'll have a wonderful Scream 7 to end off at least this trilogy. But that's gonna be all for me, folks. Thank you guys for watching. I am the Bad Duck, and you are the internet. Remember to subscribe; it is always free. And have a good night.